Welcome to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Today we'll be talking to a number of people about topics of interest and importance to Michiganders like you. Let's begin with what's making headlines today on CivicCenterTV.com's local news page. Our top story comes from Chandra Fleming at the Detroit Free Press. The National Weather Service has updated its forecast for the upcoming snowstorm and issued a winter storm warning for southeastern Michigan. The warning will go into effect at 7 p.m. on Thursday and run through 4 a.m. on Friday of this week. Following counties are affected by the winter storm warning: Wayne County, Oakland, Macomb, Livingston, Washtenaw, Monroe, Lenawee, St. Clair, Lapeer, Genesee, Shiawassee, Saginaw, Bay, Midland, Huron, Tuscola, and Sanilac counties. Snow is expected to begin this evening with lots of snowfall as well on Friday and into as far as Saturday evening. Most of Metro Detroit is projected to get at least 4 inches of snow, with Shiawassee, Genesee, Lapeer, St. Clair, Livingston, Macomb, and Oakland counties projected between 3 and 7 inches of snowfall. Temperatures will also vary throughout the snowstorm and over the next few days, with temperatures reaching highs of 40 degrees or in the low 40s today at their peak, followed by going into the teens and even the single digits, not including wind chill, over the next coming days. That, of course, is a stark change in temperatures, and with that often leads to a lot of wind as well as severe weather. Expect power outages during this storm as the winds come through, with gusts being anywhere from, we've seen over the past few days, projections of 45 miles per hour on the low end to as high as 60 miles per hour on the high end for those wind gusts over the next couple of days during the storm. This morning, DTE Energy sent out a message to its customers reading, quote, "Dear customer, the end of the year holidays may bring welcome visitors, family, and friends from near and far. This year, however, the old man winter is also planning to pay an unwelcomed visit. Extreme weather has already been affecting parts of the nation and soon the Great Lakes state and the Midwest too. Rainfall, heavy snowfall, bitter cold, and high winds are in the current forecast for Southeast Michigan beginning today, Thursday, December 22nd. The winter weather event may cause power outages across the country, including right here in Southeast Michigan. If that happens, all 10,000 DTE employees stand ready to help. We will have employees from across the company out in the field to ensure the public's safety. Our line workers are prepared to restore your electric service as soon as conditions are safe. We know many of you have plans to enjoy the upcoming holidays with friends and family, and we're doing everything in our power to make that happen for you. However, it's very important to be prepared." And close quote. There's a lot of different suggestions at the bottom of this article on it's posted on our website with a link to even more details directly from the Detroit Free Press, CivicCenterTV.com/local-news, or click on our local news link for more information. Also making headlines today from the Detroit News' Sarah Rahal and Charles E. Ramirez. With the oncoming storm, many local shelters are saying they are at capacity in our local area. COTS in Detroit on Wyoming says they are already at capacity with 140 beds full. The same is the case at Hope Shelters in Pontiac. As the storm looms, service organizations are working extra hard to provide services for those that are in need. Meals on Wheels in our local area is continuing to work to deliver meals as best and as swiftly and as safely as possible. But according to this article from the Detroit News, they say they're expecting they may not be able to deliver meals to all 1,600 households that they serve daily. Quote, "We've sent our seniors along with their hot meal flyers, letting them know they're getting a frozen meal for Friday because of the storm." And Oakland Meals on Wheels rep said on Wednesday. Normally, meals are not delivered on the weekends by this service, but plans remain to deliver hot meals on Christmas Day, but not the following day on Monday. Regular meal service by Oakland Meals on Wheels and Meals on Wheels in the general area will resume on Tuesday of next week. Warming centers will be open throughout the storm as the storm comes through. Directly quoted from this article, in Farmington Hills, in anticipation of extreme cold weather, Predicted for Metro Detroit, the city of Farmington Hills will open the Caustic Center at 28600 West 11 Mile Road as a warming center for those in need from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Wednesday through Friday. So it's already open at this time. Those utilizing the Caustic Center during the designated time do not have to be Farmington Hills residents. That's a key point. If you're coming through Farmington Hills, if you're stuck in Farmington Hills and you need a warm place to go, the Caustic Center is available for both Farmington Hills and non-Farmington Hills residents as a warming center. The Caustic Center, however, will be closed for the Christmas holiday from Saturday through Monday. For more information, 248-473-1800, 248-473-1800. You can call them from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on weekdays. Individuals, families, and youth seeking shelter or warming center placements can also call 313-305-0311, 313-305-0311 from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, like today, and Friday, and 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Wednesdays for assistance. In the city of Detroit, veterans seeking shelter can go to the Dingle VA Hospital at 4646 John R., the Red Tower, second floor, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, or 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Wednesdays. Detroit has 3 warming centers open through March 31st. All individuals are supervised at all times to ensure their safety and security. Also provided are hot meals, showering, and sleeping accommodations, according to the city. Attendees are also encouraged to take advantage of support services available, such as referrals and housing assistance. Outside of these hours of operation or on holidays, those seeking shelter in Detroit should come in person to one of the following 3 warming center locations: Cass Community Social Services at 11850 Woodrow Wilson Street, or call 313-883-2277, 313-883-2277. The Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries on Mac Warming Center at 11037 Mac Avenue, phone number 313-331-8990, 313-331-8990. That facility is open for families and for single women. Detroit Rescue Ministries 3rd Street Warming Center is at 3535 3rd Avenue in Detroit. Phone number 993-6703. We'll repeat that, 313-993-6703. That is open for single men. Farwell Recreation Center at 2711 East Outer Drive is open 8 a.m. Friday through 8 a.m. Monday, December 26th. Same thing at 8 a.m. at the Patton Recreation Center on 2301 Woodmere, open at the same time. For more information about shelters and warming centers, you can call CAM at 313-305-0311, 313-305-0311. Anyone can also speak with staff about the shelter options and alternatives to shelters by going to camdetroit.org. That is all of our headlines for today. We have another additional story that's about some minor changes in election results as a result of a recount on proposals 2 and proposals 3. Nothing has changed, just a marginal change in yes and in no votes, with nothing really all too impactful. You can read that article, which is from MLive, as well as all of our other stories, and find links to COVID-19 updates from the CDC, the MDHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast. We have a great show ahead today on this final 2022 edition of the Megacast. Coming up next, we'll talk holiday mental health with Carrie Krawiec from the Birmingham Maple Clinic. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. You can learn more about our program on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast. We'll find more information on all of our partnering stations across the Great Lakes State, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now on the program for our weekly mental health talk is Carrie Krawiec, a therapist at the Birmingham Maple Clinic. Carrie, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, as always, for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on with us as we are getting into the final holidays of the 2022 calendar year. And it's a time of the year that's often described in sort of a fanciful or magical way as people are getting back together with family, with friends, with others that they care about in their community. And with that, it explains itself in a very happy and upbeat way. But for many people this holiday season, this is the time of the year where some of the more negative or lower symptoms, bluer symptoms come into play. Can you explain how this comes about, this instance of holiday blues and how it affects people?
Sure. Well, what we look at this time of year is, like I said, a convergence of a lot of things. So we have the winter solstice yesterday, the darkest days of the year right now. So people who suffer from seasonal depression have been sort of getting increasingly depressed leading up to this time, and will stay that way for the next couple months. People who already have a diagnosed mental health condition, depression or anxiety, report feeling worse this time of year. Of course, we have more like kind of unhelpful eating, more carbs and more sugar, and changes to our appetite, more drinking, less sleep, more worry, more financial anxiety, more pressure to perform and be social if that's not necessarily our status quo. And all of those things kind of siphon into the next couple days and weeks.
So beyond just those general feelings of happiness that are typically there during the holiday season and some of those pressures of this time of the year, what are some other common triggers that can really send people into these holiday blues, or if they're already there, make their symptoms that much more severe?
Absolutely. Like I said, so we have all the kind of biological things I just talked about: worse eating, more drinking, less sleeping. All of those things are going to change our mood and anxiety. And then on top of it, the things that come with the holidays, maybe reflecting on years past, people who are absent or missing, losses or deaths, and feeling that kind of sadness associated with grief is going to be peak during these holiday moments. And then also, the new year coming and reflecting on goals and hopes and wishes you'd hope to accomplish, and coming up to that deadline and feeling that sort of burden or pressure of unmet expectations for yourself, are all going to contribute.
And so there are a number of different ways that you can react to that, or that you can try to shift things around so that they're not so triggering to you or upsetting to you if you're experiencing some of these holiday blues. What strategies do you suggest, particularly when it comes to those outside pressures and whatnot that we just spoke about, from family or from friends asking you to catch up, or about your goals and what you're looking forward to?
So certainly just knowing that you're normal. I think one of the biggest things, especially that plagues people with depression, is feeling internally, even if you're not isolated externally, but feeling internally like nobody understands you and you feel so alone. You look at other people and you say, everybody's experiencing this magical time and I'm not. The reality is that many people are feeling like you, and knowing that you are not alone in your experience, that that the holidays really aren't more magical than any other time of the year, and the burden or pressure to make them so is one that's external, and most people are feeling plagued by it. Knowing that you're not alone is probably one of the biggest things. Knowing that your feelings are normal and really understood by a lot of people, that kind of validation and normalcy is one way to soothe yourself.
We're joined by Carrie Krawiec on today's edition of the Megacast, a therapist at the Birmingham Maple Clinic. You can call them for consultation and services, 248-646-6659. That's 248-646-6659, or send them an email, info@birminghammaple.com, the clinic located in Troy, Michigan on West Big Beaver Road. Carrie, it's also a time of the year as we get past the Christmas holiday and Hanukkah also still going on. But also get to the new year. It's a time where people are setting their goals for 2023 and are looking back on what they've accomplished or what they've been through in 2022. And that can add a whole nother element of pressure that's in most cases entirely internal, as you're reflecting on where you've been in this past year and where you want to go. What's your advice for people to manage those expectations they have for themselves, but also curb maybe some feelings of disappointment if they haven't come as far this year as they may have hoped 364 days ago?
Right. So, I mean, I think the most important thing is be reasonable. So, the biggest cause of failure when it comes to setting goals is setting goals that are way too big. So, losing weight, saving money, these things are very vague. They're nearly impossible to do. Instead, setting something just very, very, very basic, like replacing your going out to eat a couple days a week with a home cooked lunch or something, right? Like something small is going to be much more achievable than something big. Looking back on your last year, ask yourself if you set yourself reasonable goals. Be kind and gracious and say, perhaps when we know better, we do better. And you'll know better for this year that a big goal, a big broad goal is unreachable. It's likely to cause depression because it can't be met, and depressed people are likely to set unreasonable goals. So the best thing you can do for yourself is be very basic. Something that you can do every day is much more likely to pass than something that's just kind of a broad stroke.
And look, we're getting together with family and with friends this holiday season. Many of them we haven't seen in a long time, and people are going back to their hometowns. Maybe they haven't seen some of their friends there that they have from growing up, or that they've seen, or that they've developed over the years in a long time. And so they're catching up. They're talking about work. They're talking about their social life. They're talking about their goals. So for us individually, what can we do? What should we be focusing on in those conversations to not put that kind of undue pressure or trigger those feelings of unease that are typical this time of the year for many people?
Sure. I mean, I think just knowing that you guys are more alike than dissimilar. I think people go into those situations thinking, "Wow, I've seen on Facebook or social media, no matter what your age, everybody's doing so well. Everybody's sent out holiday cards or things. They look amazing." And so the pressure is that everybody's doing awesome, and then you feel internally, "I'm not." The reality is much more neutralized. You're doing amazing in ways that you probably haven't showcased for yourself, even if you've broadcasted to the world, and you've also had some hard knocks, and that's true for everybody else, right? So everything's more neutral, even if they haven't had the exact same experiences. You've had something similar happen over the last 1, 2, 3 years where you're probably doing about the same as everyone else, not better, not worse, and same to them, to you.
Joined by Carrie Krawiec from the Birmingham Maple Clinic on today's edition of the Megacast. You can find more information on their services and get in contact with them at 248-646-6659. Their website, birminghammaple.com, or send them an email, info@birminghammaple.com. That's birminghammaple.com for more information. Carrie, at this time of the year, are there any other common ailments that we tend to see being discussed in mental health with mental health professionals as we get toward the end of the year that we haven't discussed yet today, but people should be keeping in mind as they get into these final holidays of 2022?
Sure. I think like you and I discussed a few weeks ago with Thanksgiving, it might be time where people are seeing friends and family that they haven't seen, and maybe there's questions arising. How is this person doing? Either, is it an eating disorder? Are you seeing some change in behavior that's maybe concerning? So it's certainly a time that you might be assessing these things. It's probably not the time in a family setting to bring them up. So you might just kind of keep note of it and then save it for perhaps a private moment or an intimate moment that doesn't include confronting someone. If you have some questions about substance abuse or drinking, if you have some questions about depression or perhaps suicide, or like I said, eating disorders or that, it's perhaps important to address those with that person, but not in the moment that's in front of other people or will be confrontational or humiliating in a holiday setting. Save that, for a private moment. Set aside time and address those people privately.
248-646-6659 or birminghammaple.com to get in contact with Carrie and the other professionals at the Birmingham Maple Clinic. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Always. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on and appreciate having you on every week throughout 2022. We will talk again in the new year as these are our final episodes of 2022. More information again at birminghammaple.com to get in contact with professionals at the Birmingham Maple Clinic if you're in need of any consultation this holiday season and beyond. We'll take a break on the Megacast on the other side as you're getting ready to finalize your holiday plans and go out and visit different places in Michigan or even beyond Michigan. There's a lot to consider before you leave the home for these holidays, especially now with the storm coming in. Joining us next from Pure Michigan is Dave Lorenz on the Megacast.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Hey Laker fans, do you know a friend or neighbor that volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield? We would love to help you recognize them at the 51st Annual Michigan Week Awards. Countless members of the communities of Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield give their time and talent daily without regard for recognition. You can help recognize these individuals and organizations at our awards breakfast next year on May 12, 2023. Nominate your neighbor or organization starting January 28, 2023. Go to michiganweek.org for details.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
My Michigan TV is streaming everywhere on Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, and more smart TV apps. My Michigan TV is on your phone too. Take us with you wherever you go. Just search for My Michigan TV on your favorite app store or visit mymitv.com. All Michigan streaming everywhere. My Michigan TV.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Kieft. You're joining us on our daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. More information on our website, civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Find out more on all of our partnering TV, radio, and streaming outlets, including all their special programming this holiday season, and find all of our full shows and individual interviews on demand as well. The website, civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Joining us now on the Megacast is Dave Lorenz, Vice President of Travel Michigan with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, as we're finalizing our holiday plans and looking to travel throughout the next couple of weeks as we round out 2022. Dave, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, good to hear from you, Tyler. And I was really happy you were talking to your previous guest about depression at this time of year. A lot of people are affected by a lack of sun. And hey, I love Pure Michigan's four seasons, but we have to admit we don't have a lot of sun this time of year. I know there's some challenge with a little anxiety about all the potential forecast about great amounts of snow here and there, and that worries people too. So we need to take care of each other at this time of year. And of course, one of the ways we can do that is by being thoughtful, not just through gift giving, but by paying attention to each other and noticing little things that could turn out to be big things. So I'm really happy that you had that really good conversation and great deal of advice. I know talking to people over the years, one of the things that I know is helpful for people is to kind of get out of the doldrums of normalcy sometimes. So that's what travel can provide you as well. So I'm hoping that people will, kind of put away some of these anxieties and concerns that are pressing and weighing on people, and think about the gift of travel this year for yourselves, perhaps, but also for others. Because there's one thing I've noticed over the years, and that is through giving, you receive. And quite often, if you think about it, some of our happiest times are when we know that we provided happy times for other people. So I'm no psychologist, but I'll tell you, I have really learned that personally, that if we can provide experiences for other people just to kind of brighten their day, big ways and small ways, maybe we can make a difference. So as we think about this coming year and get beyond the gift giving time, I think it is really important for us to also think about those things and about ways that we can make people's day.
There are a lot of great places to go in Michigan, and as you mentioned, we have all four seasons here in the Great Lakes State, and winter. There's so many different activities to engage in too that can get people out of their comfort zone, have a little bit of fun, and also enjoy some really beautiful sights as well. And so, as we're looking into now seeing winter firsthand in the next couple of days, and then after that, after the snow settles, being able to experience some of the fun of winter in Michigan, what are some great opportunities that are available across the state that maybe people don't think about too often, but can experience and have a lot of fun right here in Michigan?
Well, we'll start out staying close to home. I'm in the west side of the state, so believe me, we have plenty of snow. I think we got 11 inches at my house last weekend.
Yeah.
So we're already enjoying the beautiful snow all over around us. And one of the best ways you can enjoy your different seasons, doesn't matter what time of the year, is by getting outside, even close to home. Think about it, in Southeast Michigan, the tremendous metro parks that are all throughout the area. Man, oh man, that's a great asset for the southeast part of the state. A lot of cool things you can do there, including some fun activities that are occasionally there and special events and such. But otherwise, just getting out and taking a walk, taking a stroll, a little hike through the woods, maybe a hike, put on your boots, put on a coat, a hat, and some gloves, and you can really enjoy this time of year. Or perhaps, again, staying closer to home, you can either go to any of our local towns in the area, or consider a big city like downtown Detroit and check out what's happening just at Campus Martius. If that's all you did is went to downtown Detroit and went to Campus Martius, check out that ice skating rink, bring your skates. And, it's hard to believe, but that skating rink at Campus Martius is bigger than the famous one at Rockefeller Plaza in New York. We find that a lot about Detroit. Detroit should surprise people and should amaze people because Detroit's come so far in this last 15 years or so to offer great experiences. So consider that. Just head downtown, maybe walk through that area. They still do have those pop-up shops right in that area. There's that Monroe Plaza, fun activities there as well. Or maybe walk along the riverfront, walk up and down Woodward, check out some of the shops for the next couple of days before the holidays or afterward, take in some restaurants. So you can enjoy all those things, whether you're going to the big city or going into smaller communities in our area. Now, if you want to go a little bit farther away after that big storm passes. Believe me, we know how to move snow in this state. So before you know it, you're going to be able to get around. Maybe consider going to places up north, like some of our resorts. The next couple of years, next couple of weeks, I should say, are the most important parts of the year for our ski resorts, for instance. They're going to be a bit busy, but there's going to still be plenty of room. And they made it really easy for you to get your ski lift tickets just by going online. You can rent your gear, do that in advance as well if you need that. And they will even provide classes for you. They have really excellent instructors who can show you how to do all these fun things. Maybe you're not into the, real active outdoors experiences. I still recommend those resorts, Tyler, because man, being in one of those spas, I got to tell you, I had one of those massages for the first time last winter or the winter before, I forget. Turns out I really loved it. So, wow, a lot of cool things you can do right here in Pure, Michigan.
Trip begins at michigan.org, a great place to go to find all of this that Dave just spoke about and more activities all throughout the year, including in the winter. You can find specific guides and information on activities and great places to travel during each season, or by activity or by region of the state. All that on the web at michigan.org for more information. It's also, you mentioned going to some of these cities to visit and experience winter in Michigan. And as we're getting to the final holidays of the year, it's a great time of the year for gift giving and for gift buying. And there's so many amazing small businesses and local shops in all these different towns throughout Michigan. But as people are doing their final holiday shopping, what consideration should they be taking in terms of helping these businesses, not only through their commerce, but through their behavior, and of course, through the way that they're treating employees and others as they're doing that last minute Christmas shopping?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Tyler. We really want people to support local whenever possible. And that might mean getting a unique gift at one of our local shops right there in your own town. Maybe you pick up a gift card. I have to admit, I'm not the best shopper. So I have kind of resorted to getting gift cards. It's kind of sounds like a cop out, I know, but it really isn't. When you get a gift card, first off, you're saying, listen, I care about you. Here it is. Throw it in a card. You got it done. They can get what they want. And here's the thing. The merchants, when they sell that card to you, they get access to that money now at a time when cash flow is a little tight. It's likely that a lot of people won't actually expend the money through that cash card or that card that you purchase for a gift for a little while, for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. That gives them a little money to work with, and that's really helpful to them. So when you're out there, that's one thing to take note of. And especially when you go to restaurants, remember, they're not still fully staffed. We're getting better. People are coming back to work, and I'm really thankful for that. And frankly, if you're still sitting on the sidelines, just waiting to go back to work, don't put it off very much longer, because people are coming back to work. You better get back to work as well. It's going to be better for you. Everybody feels better when they're working. So do that quickly. And as you go into these places, retail shops, restaurants, attractions, museums, art galleries, and all the other things we like to do, please be kind. Let's try to pack our patience with us. What we've noticed this last couple of years is I think people are so frustrated about all these challenges we've gone through. We've kind of lost our ability to be polite, something that simple. And Michiganders are known for their friendliness. It's not just those Minnesotans. So, let's try to remember that more important is for us and for them, for us to be patient and be kind and be understanding, and then support all of our businesses at the same time. Really makes a difference.
We're joined by Dave Lorenz on the Megacast today, Vice President of Travel Michigan with Michigan Economic Development Corporation. You can find more information on traveling all across the state of Michigan at michigan.org for all of that information you may need on different activities and places to go across the Great Lakes state. And Dave, as we go into the end of the year and into 2022, what are some considerations we should be making for travel throughout Michigan later on in the year at this time? Because a lot has changed over the last couple of years, and more change is coming in 2023. What are some interesting things that are on the docket across Michigan coming up in the new year?
Well, we'll start out with the ski industry, for instance. They've made so many technological advances at many of our ski hills and resorts. So be prepared for some adjustment in the way that you utilize these beautiful facilities. So for instance, I mentioned you can go online and pick up your passes in advance. A couple of cool things about that is it's just a lot easier and you're not going to have to stand in line. So some of those places now will only sell passes and tickets. So you'll find a lot of this in a variety of businesses. Maybe they've gone completely to online sales of tickets. So do a little search in advance. We always say your trip begins at michigan.org. And that means go there, do a little research, consider where you want to go, and then check into the new rules of the road. Find out what might be new, really in providing convenience for you and in providing new access to new facilities in new ways. For instance, a lot of our ski resorts have doubled up their capacity for ski lifts. Boyne Mountain actually has just opened up their 8-seater. It's either at Boyne or the Highlands, I forget which one, but an 8-seater lift. And because of the technological advances, you don't have to be intimidated by it because those seats will literally slow down for you. You sit on them, you go up there quickly, they slow down again so you can get off. It's pretty awesome. So a lot of our resorts have made improvements like that. As we go into the new year, I know a lot of people are going to be flying to other places, and I want you to stay here as much as you can. But maybe take some of this advice for some of your friends and family who are coming into Michigan this holiday. And then if you do go somewhere else, we understand. Just remember, if you are flying, the airlines and the airports are doing their best to keep you safe. I will tell you that the airlines themselves, those planes, that's about as safe as you can be when it comes to people still concerned with COVID. I understand that. If you're concerned, the airports, they're also doing their best, but that's where all the congestion happens. So you're going to want to get there as early as possible. But one thing I recommend is maybe not just always sit down shoulder to shoulder with people. Perhaps walk around, get a little exercise, get a little air. And then if somebody does, unfortunately, maybe still have COVID or perhaps just has a cold, doesn't want to spread it around, it's very unlikely that you're going to by kind of wandering around and walking around. You get that exercise as well. Get there plenty early. I actually recommend right now getting to an airport 2 hours in advance, even for those domestic flights. They're going to probably get you through really quickly, and you're going to say, why am I here so early? Well, you got there early so you can walk around and you can buy a coffee and you can enjoy yourself before that. But the earlier you get there, they can better accommodate those people who are somewhat last minute. So think about those things as well. And as we said earlier, be patient, be kind, and you're going to enjoy that experience a lot better.
Dave, we always appreciate having you on at all times of the year to explore everything going on across the Great Lakes State, and look forward to talking to you more about traveling across Michigan in 2023.
Same here. Enjoy the holidays, Tyler. Everybody else, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all those other holidays. Enjoy them. Have a great time. And remember, your trip begins at michigan.org.
That it does. Dave Lorenz, Vice President of Travel Michigan, with us on today's edition of the Megacast. We'll take a break. On the other side, we'll continue on the theme of travel, especially as you're getting ready to maybe hit the road today or tomorrow or over the weekend for the end of the year holidays, or even go to the airport in your local city this coming weekend. A lot to consider this time of the year, as well as for traveling later on in the year. David Fishman from Cadillac Travel Group will join us next on the Megacast.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the Megacast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Michigan. I'm Tyler Kieft. Learn more about our program on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering stations across Michigan, including My Michigan TV, our co-flagship, and find all of our full programs and each individual interview segment dating all the way back to our first shows in March of 2020 on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, the place to go for that. Well, as we are just days away from Christmas and a few days beyond that from the end of 2022 and into the new year, it's a great time of the year for people traveling all across the Great Lakes state and beyond, but there's plenty to consider, especially with the storm incoming at this time for this weekend. Joining us now on the program to talk about all the considerations you should be making for holiday travel this weekend and looking forward to traveling later on in the year in 2023 is David Fishman, president of Cadillac Travel Group. David, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Tyler. Nice to see you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, good to have you on as well, and appreciate you coming on with us today. First off, and this was not originally on the docket for us to discuss, but it's something we should absolutely dive into with the storm incoming and ongoing at this time all across the state of Michigan, soon to really hit Southeast Michigan hard. It's coming at a really very inconvenient time for many people getting ready to travel this holiday season, whether it be on the roads of Michigan, but even at the airport. And so if people are running into problems, delays, cancellations, all which are already to be expected, as have been announced by the airlines and by our local airports, what steps can they take maybe to get better deals for an alternative flight, or if they have to completely scrap their travel plans altogether? Are there steps that are available for people?
Well, first of all, as I always say, the most important thing you can always do is protect yourself when you're traveling. You should take an insurance. But that being said, and that, let's say that is gone, what do? Well, you should have been you need to check today. You needed to check yesterday. You got to constantly check and see what's the status with the flights, because there are flights that are being canceled already because of the weather coming towards us. So other states, the problems with the flights in those other states, it might have caused delays or cancellations of your flights already. So please stay on top of your flights. Make sure you know whether that plane is still going on time or if it has been canceled at all. Once you find out if your flight is canceled, then you have to look at alternatives on that airline or other airlines that might be able to accommodate you, so you can have some options that you can discuss with the airlines or rebook online. And then, of course, know your rights. It's really important to know what your rights are, which your rights are. It has a lot to do with what is happening. So if it's mechanical or if it's weather, you actually have more limited rights than you do if there's problems caused by the airlines themselves with whatever management or whatever. But know your rights and what options they'll have available to you, so you can make figure out what you can do next, depending on what happens with your flights.
And we just heard earlier on from another travel expert, particularly for in-state travel, about some advice for at the airport this time of the year, especially with inclement weather incoming. From you, as someone that experiences this in consultation with people traveling both domestically and internationally, and during a time like this season, but also with a storm incoming and storms in other places affecting travel, what advice do you have for travelers, particularly if they're going to their local airport this holiday season?
Well, early, patience early. There's going to be long lines. I was already at the airport last week. They were already setting up to have the lines all the way down the airport as I was walking in. So they were already setting up and they're expecting those long lines. And usually 2 to 2.5 hours early. Pretty much, if you're going to be flying, get there at least 2 to 3 hours early, depending on if you have TSA or clear, that will speed you up a little bit. But I would try but the lines are still going to be long even at the counters if you have to check a bag or check in at the counter. So get there at least 2.5 hours, I would say 3 hours early. If you're flying international, I get there 4 hours early. I wouldn't take any chances between traffic you might run into. So you want to be driving there earlier and leaving your house earlier. So the lines at the airport, the lines at the counters, you need to really be getting there much earlier and be patient. You got to remember, the people working there, they want to get you out. They want to make sure it goes smoothly. So abusing them is not going to help you. As I say, the people at the counters and at the gate are, the gatekeepers. They have a lot of power. So if you want to have a problem, get them upset. You'll have bigger problems. Be kind, be nice, be patient, go early, and it'll go a long way for you.
It's also a good time of the year to start planning your travel for later on in the year, whether it be spring break or summer travel. And this is the time of year too, where there are a lot of great deals on travel across a variety of different sectors of the travel industry. So what sort of deals are available if people are looking to make those plans and maybe save a buck or two at this time of the year?
Yeah, I'm going to add one more thing. Let's just say your whole trip is canceled but you still want to go somewhere and it's very last minute at this point in time. Look at cold weather destinations or look at destinations that are, that normally people aren't traveling to this time of year. So it can be really pretty going to, over to London or going to some of the Nordic countries or going to other places this time of year when you're not sitting on a beach, but you're still touring, going to museums, going to dinners, seeing the country. It's really pretty and covered in snow that, sometimes you don't normally get to see when you travel to those destinations. So there's an option for you as well if everything goes awry and you can't make your trip because it's canceled completely. So something to think about. Now, the deals next year, first of all, if you haven't planned spring break, plan it now, because it's really sold out, in particular on the air. You'll still find some ground hotels, cruises, and things that you'll find deals on. So those options are there. I'm seeing a ton of international cruising and riverboat cruises. Seem to be some great deals out there. So that's something to look at as well. And some more adventuresome trips. I'm starting to see some deals on some of the more unique trips out there as well. So step outside the box, maybe do that bucket list trip because right now you need to plan ahead because 2023 right now is looking towards being the busiest travel year in the history of travel. So plan ahead, start planning now. So when you're on that vacation, talk about those trips you want to take. When you're with the family over Christmas, talk about those family trips you want to take and start making your plans ahead of time.
Yeah, holiday travel just this holiday season is just a few percentage points shy of where the numbers were pre-pandemic in 2019. So it's definitely something we can expect to continue to go up as we distance ourselves further from the times when restrictions were heavily in place due to COVID-19. If you need help traveling, planning your travel plans or accommodations, 800-369-8747 or 800-369-TRIP to get in contact with Cadillac Travel. You can also find them online at CadillacTravel.com. We're joined by the president of Cadillac Travel Group, David Fishman, on today's edition of the Megacast. In terms of the cost of travel, we're seeing cost of everything has gone up of late. How has that affected the travel industry and when it comes down to the bottom line, affected the prices people are paying to travel across different sectors?
Well, the airfares are just ridiculous. Personally, I'm on my soapbox out there saying this is not right. I mean, I know prices have gone up, but I think that the airlines are really taking advantage of the traveling public. To be very honest, the airfares are through the roof. So plan ahead. Don't think the airfares are going to go down on a lot of things. So if you get a good rate, please take that rate. And moving forward, there will still be some deals in regards to cruising and in regards to hotels and all inclusives. Those deals will be not bad out there. They still haven't gone quite through the roof like the airline tickets have. So you can really get those deals. It's going to be navigating the airfare pricing moving forward is going to be kind of difficult. We all hope that things will get better with that. The reality is that people are traveling more than ever because of what we're talking about with the pandemic and what happened with people being locked down. People say, I don't care about the price. I'm never being locked up again. I'm going to go on this trip. I'm not taking a chance if something happens with RSV or the flu or COVID. I'm going to travel. So it hasn't impacted travel as much as it happened to have an impact in other sectors. People are traveling and people will continue to travel much more moving forward because of what they realized they were missing. When they realized they were missing travel, they know how important that is as a part of their life and seeing their family, seeing their friends, seeing the world. So it hasn't really slowed down travel very much, the high prices.
More information can be found and get in contact for consultation at CadillacTravel.com. 800 numbers 800-369-8747, 800-369-TRIP, or local call them at 248-358-5330, 248-358-5300 for more information.
No,
David,
5330.
Yes, 5330, 248-358-5330. David, we got about 1 minute left with you here. So I want to go back over to talking about travel insurance. Just give us a brief overview about some of the different protections that consumers can get by purchasing travel insurance along with their plans.
Yeah, so travel insurance has become very important ever since the pandemic. And so, it's beautiful because it covers you before, during, and after your trip with different situations. So it'll cover you if you happen to get sick before you go. It'll cover you if you have a business excuse. Now they even have if your pet is ill. So there's new travel insurances and protections available. Know what your protections are. Know what you need. Know what's in those plans. So it's important to go to a travel professional and really make sure that you know what you're getting to make sure you have those proper coverages. But you need to take it. It'll cover for those delays that are happening, like moving forward with the weather. It'll cover you if you get ill, including English-speaking doctors or medevac out. God forbid if something became that terrible that you needed to come home. And it'll cover you for any number of different reasons along the way, lost luggage or problems at the hotel, any of these things. And so it's really important more than ever to have travel insurance with this, unusual weathers with hurricanes, storms, and of course, pandemics and now flu and RSV. These are things, so you need to make sure you're covered. And it also covers the whole family. So if your elderly parent are sick and you can't go on the trip, those type of things are covered too. So it's important to get travel insurance, know what's in it, make sure you have the right coverage for you.
David, thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it, Tyler. Take care. Have a happy holiday and a happy, healthy new year.
You as well. CadillacTravel.com for more information and consultation on your travel plans. That is going to do it for this year's editions of the Megacast. You can always find us on demand online at civiccentertv.com/Megacast. We'll return with new episodes of the Megacast beginning January 3rd of 2023.